And there's no. We have to push this payment, but still because I once engaged this officer. He told me point blank that officer charge him $1, saying you can never be my sister because you're from Eastern me, I'm talking. Officer in charge him, I'm not lying. Yeah. So I'm going to put try, but you think to put shiny out. But serious, the mama movie. It's push the event, the 80 I'm there right in pushy, and it feels like the right to jail. But he never know that what he did wrong. They never say it. They want to watch stuff in a way I'm there. That's okay. They tackle this time, but I'm not with a good man. My mom is a good man, and I'm not for dressing push, but people are regretting, people are crying, people are hungry, but are tired. The never never praise, but praise. I want to come on and come here for recover. Yeah, recover and then so, it is the question, my name won't solve the street. We don't guide it. Okay, if you committed the crime, then it's okay. But the government finished the justice is so because the new culprit is still there, walking freely. Because this is this over how did they come up with the conviction? Did they find the same gun which killed Lawrence in his position? That we shall answers to it's like judicial system number because in the morning back was watch poster, they did Bachilanda Kadon chair be so Marana Koja and to watch you feeling English. So beginning, but there are consequences. Thank you very much. But I wish we had 10 people like you in Zambia. If you do not still about PF, let them put their house in order. So I'm not going to let guys out. But I need to direction, no roadmap whatsoever. Nothing is happening. But why is it not make us change? I just the guys will be. No, thank you. All right. Hello? Hello?
Zambia, we Judicial, Gawamono, Rwani Aisa, no Lupio again. Nico Cola, Moseven, we win the water, Mama, Chungwa, Zambia, Natusunge, Hichalo, Jesu, Mama. Where we take on, where we name, when we wash our love. Bantunga wash, Judicial, who get my sharantum.
Let me have a Billy. Who got them a bony a Billy?
Hichalo, Jesu, Mama, Alamune. Uko sefie Chinja Marwani Muchalo Jesu Mama.
It's been a while. Good evening, guys. Good evening. I had to wait for Tayari to at least speak before I could come live. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Clara, hi. Hakuna kulala. The country needs us to stand up. Takuri kulala. You can't sleep when you're not at peace. There's no peace in Zambia. Gabara busha bafwa. Nabusha basata right now. Nabusha bonswa former presidents to help us fight this. We go
watalo mama untungwa uwa Zambia na tusunge ichalo Jesu wemwine wachalo
Perfect mwenye hai.
Judicial chalo ngefaisha abantu kashimune uchenjele kulya baba mwisa agale kwayo ukona ula yechalo Jesu mama alamune ukosefye chifya banwani uchalo Jesu mama mtungwa twalikoka muchalo Jesu icha Zambia mama mtungwa Zambia.
Oh my God, I'm so emotional right now. I'm so emotional right now. I'm so emotional. Ninjira sana lero, ninjira ndebechi kulila ero kulila shire iririra yo nde iririre charo Jesu. Because where we are headed, my brothers and sisters, where we are headed, my brothers and sisters, takueme. Tonight's video, and I'm questioning everybody, did we create a political monster in 2021? Did we create a political monster in 2021? And I'm asking this question in regard with what has happened today, in regard with what is happening in the country, in regard with the UPND administration. Okay? There's so many things that have happened, especially the abrogation of the constitution, the law. And I'm asking myself, God, what did we do in 2021? First of all, I want to make it clear, very clear. I know, you tend to say, oh, what, slave. I don't care about what you tell me. But what I want to make it clear is this. UPND are not angels. UPND are culprits in as much as PF were culprits. And they are both responsible for Zambia today. So she de soborora to say no, PF were good. She de soborora to say oh, UPND were victims. No. Every political party has a role to play in a country and how that country is governed and how that country becomes. You understand? So, in notion, eyo mulando kweba twali lubuka. It's nonsense. You have the freedom. It's absolute nonsense. You understand? Elo twalu wiki was 1964. And all of you today, including those that are presidents and leaders, had no role whatsoever in the independence of our country. Our forefathers that fought for this country to be independent from the colonial rule are all dead. You understand? Those are the people that are entitled to speak about freedom. To say that, oh, we've brought freedom or we are free. Zambia was not at war. What was transpiring is political nuances from all political parties in our country, especially the UPND and the PF. You understand? So this nonsense, the notion that you've created, institutionalize your people, your supporters, to think we were at war or we came from a war zone governance system is bullshit. And put me on record, I don't care. It's bullshit, absolute nonsense. We were not at war. Rather, political parties had nuisance that they were using in order for them to champion their agenda so they can rule this country. Okay? we start with the PF, the former ruling party, the Patriotic Front. I was here. I don't care if you saw me or you didn't see me. I don't care if you concur with me or you don't. We condemned the wrongs that were happening in the PF government. We said it on times and times again. We said, tame your cadres, political violence. We said it. But on that part, because PF was the ones in government, they had all the security wings, or they all the instrument of power. They were the ones with the instrument of power. We overlooked what UPND were doing as an opposition party. You understand? The nation overlooked that, because in that particular moment, the people with the instrument of power was the Patriotic Front. So in people's eyes, we thought they supposed to control everything that is happening, the atrocities that were happening. We, the people, thought it because PF were the people in power, had to control things that even were beyond, actually, believe it or not, were beyond their control. Because PF are the most difficult opposition political party in the history of Zambia. A party that never ever accepted Edgar Lungu as the Republican president. A party that never recognized to date Edgar Lungu to be a former Republican president. A party that never saw any good in what PF did. All it did was condemn. Today we see them commissioning things that they condemn. Today we see them arriving with their prominent whatever, people from abroad on the same airport that was condemned to say they are putting money in the wrong things. This is why the economy is bad. That's the political party, an opposition political party that PF had to deal with it. But at that time, including me, we never saw that. Because at that time, we said to ourselves, PF are the one with the instrument of power. So they would take responsibility even for the wrongs of what is happening with the opposition party. You understand? So everybody overlooked the horrible, and I mean it, the horrible things that UPND did in opposition. And we put all the horrible things on PF because PF was the party in power. So we condemned PF. So we said, no, you know what? This is rubbish. PF has to go. We overlooked all the horrible. We overlooked the fact that UPND had a role to play in the kind of governance that we endured prior to the 2021 elections. We overlooked that. Everybody overlooked that. And what did we do? And UPND rode on that trajectory. They rode on our ignorance. And what did they do? They championed what we thought and projected it on platforms. Rode on the propaganda. They propagated the notion in our heads. They propagated and institutionalized us to believe that every atrocity, every bad thing that happened prior to the 2021 general elections was to do with PF's governance. So Zambian people, we bought it. Zambian people said, you know what? You are right, UPND, enough is enough. And the irony in all this, they said we are not going to do what PF is doing. We're going to give you a better governance. We're going to give you the Zambia that you deserve. Do you understand? They rode on that. They rode on our ignorance. They rode on the fact that we were vulnerable, seeking a way out in what we deemed was a war zone country. And for that, I'm hurting. For that, I'm upset. For that, I'm disgusted. So what did Zambian people do? They went out in numbers, especially the youths. Have you ever heard of the boy that cried wolf? That is the UPND. They've never taken any sort of responsibility in the manner in which they had to play in whatsoever horrible things that happened in Zambia. It has always been PF, PF, PF. Even now, when you don't have meal, when you are queuing up for meal and the president is traveling, it is PF's fault for you queuing up. So Zambians went out in numbers. The youths were brainwashed. I was brainwashed. What did we do? Okay, we want no cadarism. We want a justice system that's going to be free and fair. We want an electoral system that's going to be free and fair from anybody interfering with it. And above all, we want to have an economy that is stable. We want to eat. The first thing, we want to eat. How do we eat? We want to buy this meal at 50 kwacha. So they went out in numbers. And you know what? They thought Edgar Lungu was evil. We all thought this is the worst dictator that we've ever had. So Edgar Lungu's name was dragged in the mud. Dragged in the mud. Today, Utuma bloggers that were busy, they are quiet. Seeing the atrocities that are happening, they are quiet. So yeah, Edgar Lungu accepted his fate. He accepted the insults which you continue to insult him. He accepted that you voted him out of power. He accepted the fact that you propagated him as this worst thing to have ever happened to Zambia. So he accepted that. Quietly, he handed over power. And your people, you booed him. He went to rest. Zambians voted for this new Messiah. A Messiah that was going to take Zambians from Egypt, from Pharaoh, to this promised land called Canaan. So they went. They voted. Here we are. You voted in 2021, 2022. It's been 1 year. 22, January, February, March, April. Actually, August, September, October, November, December. 1 year, 8 months. 1 year, 8 months. And we see someone. Balelimbe mishira. Shire anomba shire kula na balimba. It first started with the Electoral Commission of Zambia. It started with the Electoral Commission of Zambia. We saw what happened. I won't go beating around the bush of saying, oh, what. No, we saw what happened. Example is in Kabush and Kwacha. So, but they planted that seed. Dictatorship started planting its seed. Kui Electoral Commission of Zambia, it was planted. We saw Patrick Shindano being chucked out. Who came? Their cadres at the Electoral Commission of Zambia. We saw even when a case was in court, someone got to campaign, overlooking what the Constitution says. Before judgment is made, is campaigning. Elections were held and somebody won without the will of the people really having a say. So you people overlooked that. Okay? Then we come to the judicial system, the judiciary. It first started with the DPP. We saw how the DPP was treated until she had to get out of that office. Then there was this Judicial Complaint Committee where everybody has to agree with the top man. It was set up. You even had cadres reporting the DPP to that same committee. And we saw how that worked out. We move away from there. Then we have this issue at hand that has happened today. which is a sorry sight. A very sorry sight. I don't even know how you praise singers comprehend what is really happening in this country. Somebody is accused of murder. Somebody is taken to court. Somebody pleads not guilty. Trial begins. For 1 year plus, there's been going trials. Lawyers, witnesses, what. It was ongoing. Judgment day comes. After all is said and done, evidence is provided. People have been put on stand. People have, witnesses have come in and testified. Lawyers have gone out of their way to prove the case. So Zambia is watching. Zambia is waiting. Judgment day. What's the verdict? Then all of a sudden, the state comes in and enters a nole. On judgment day, they enter a nole. My question is, say if Mumbipi, because we assume at this point, all right, we are assuming at this point, during this period, as we are waiting for a judgment, for a verdict on this case, we have no idea. The only people that know of the verdict is the judge who has been presiding over the case. If, for instance, we're in America, would maybe looking at the what do you call them? Not just the judge, but the jury. Is it the jury? Yes. We would be looking at those to come up with the verdict. But in our Zambia, our constitution allows for the judge, one person to read the verdict, right? So the whole country is on a standstill and we're waiting for a verdict. Assuming we don't know. You and I don't know. Okay? It is up to the judge to know. Now, assuming, this is my question now, and I want you, when you go to sleep tonight, ask yourself, let's, for argument's sake, let's assume Mumbipili was guilty. Let's assume for a second, for a split second, let's assume Mumbipili, the mother, Mumbipili, because Mama was guilty of murder of Lawrence Banda. Would the state come in and enter a nole? Let's assume that. If the verdict was going to be, yes, she murdered Lawrence Banda, she's guilty, she's going to court. Yeah, she's going to prison. Would the state come out early in the morning before the verdict and say, you know, hang on a minute, don't read that. I think this is not fair. We didn't actually, you know, I think she didn't do that. So forget about everything that's been said. We are entering a nole. That's your homework for tonight as you go to bed. But it is because the verdict was already known that Mumbipiri was innocent. So they come in and enter a nole. You understand? So where is the justice? Where's the independence of our justice system? Where is the rule of law that we were promised as a people to say there will be no interference with the justice system? The law will be the law and the law will be dealt with accordingly. Where is it? I, for one, I don't see it. I, for one, I see one person in this country calling the shots. And if you're not in good books with that person, you are in for it. Democracy. You as a country, my God, the hypocrisy. It's been 4 days ago, I don't know if it's a week ago, You were celebrating this first of a democratic summit. You call this democracy? You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. You are parading yourselves to this international community because at the moment, the same international community that you are parading are so desperate. So desperate. So they take you as you are and make you look like, yes, you are this good of a leader that Zambia has ever had. Because they've got their own agenda and they want to use you to achieve that agenda. So whatever the Zambian people are going through does not matter. Whatever, if the justice has prevailed or not, that does not matter. If the Electoral Commission is not independent, that does not matter as long as they are achieving their agenda. That's what's going on here. So I asked myself, did we groom a political monster? And is he going to start chewing us, eating us one by one? And if that's the case, what do we do as a country? Because this is not ending here. Karamwa Mwene Kabush was a kadionko ku Electoral Commission. This that has happened is a jonko ku justice system. And everybody that speaks now, they're either threatened or arrested. You can't takuluk sakana. Epo tufikire takuluk sakana. That is the Zambia that we have at the moment. And you think this shit is going to get any better? This shit is going to get worse and worse and worse. Because I wrote an article to say, yes, PF might have started the smoke. UPND have lit the fire. UPND have lit the fire without even them knowing that they've lit the fire. And this cowardness of trying not to talk about things, this cowardness of not trying to hit the nail on its head of what is happening in Zambia, you should stop that, Zambians. No to kulap tamumbari, yo, chaktina, no, don't talk about tribalism. No, tribalism is there. Tribalism is worse. And tribalism is taking its direction, route. It's I mean, what more do you want? What more exhibit do you want to say? Okay, now what exhibit if they fit. What more do you want? What more examples do you want? So, you've got eyes. Can't you see what is happening in your own country? And the tribalism is actually being propagated by hate speech. They've stopped nowadays. They can't arrest you on tribalism. They are going to arrest you on hate speech. Where somebody says you are not intelligent, somebody says you are ignorant about something, and in hate speech. And we have coward leaders in Zambia. Coward leaders. Because they are comfortable where they are. That's the type of leadership we have. And yes, we have leadership crisis in Zambia. And the UPND have noticed that and they are taking advantage of that. Come 2026, if at all they will ever reach there, they will not give out power like Edgar Lungu. Woofy. You hear hey, 5 years, they are not doing exactly as they promised. So their failures are now in the thirst of vengeance. So they want to take away everybody that may seem to be a threat in 2026. And they start with what? Who else? Who better yet to start with? They start first with the Patriotic Front. Because the Patriotic Front is the main opposition leader. You understand? Opposition leaders to wait. Once they deal with Patriotic Front, they know they are done. They know they're done. Look at how many opposition political parties that we have in Zambia. How many? How many? But yet they are seeing what's happening. They are seeing what's going on. They are seeing dictatorship taking its root. They want to start speaking individually. Uya post up a Facebook, uya post up a Facebook, uya post up a Facebook. That's not going to help anybody. You need to unite, and the time is now. The fire is already lit. Tribalism is there. You can see through the appointments. You can see. You can see. But you don't want to accept it. You want to ride on a trajectory to say maybe you want to believe that no, the truth is it's the fact, it's there, it's happening. Don't even try and beat around the bush to say nadimo turesa nadimo inende tuishka it's there. Don't be batoma mufibra. You are seeing things with your own color eyes, but you don't want to believe it. You want to pretend that everything is okay. Nothing is okay here. What we voted in power, what we brought in power, is not the person that President afira kwate minsula. President afire akwata, each kuku chechako bat nangu bamwe wefya msango shani are sulako. Not president wa mufimbira. Tapari oko tuliane chalo. Look at the UPND. They've lost direction. They've lost direction. Tapari, tell me why you think UPND is taking Zambia. Tell me which direction you're telling me to say, okay, why UPND, Papena, they are taking Zambia somewhere. Ukwambira kubunga, for example. 2021, they came in, there was bumper harvest. The first thing they did was export maize. Now today, you see the Ministry of Agriculture writing to Manos to start importing ubunga. Ukuchita import ubunga. But you don't want to accept that. You want to pretend to say, nadimo. No, we told you about this hunger. Even 2020, I said brace for 2023 because there will be hunger in Zambia. And hunger is coming. Not if hunger is coming. And UPND, they've got no solution about this hunger that is coming. They've got no solution. So pala school aikata fya abantu waranda baikata waranda baikara. But internationally, but project like we've got the most democratic nation in Zambia. Sushu wa warned about the undermining of democracy. Moya monawe sushu wa valeshta won. People are leaving Zambia now. If I tell you, most people want to leave Zambia. They don't want to stay in Zambia because of how Zambia has become. Today, someone is writing a letter to transfer people. I'm yet to know why that is written. I don't know if it's the truth, but I saw something. Somebody writing 46 people transferred. Mwashtana approve. Under what condition? You want to until fike seba everyone goes bantu balera and the mama no poto afika. If into famule imwena na menso yenu. Ishimi shiru shire tanda. Ero shire tanda at a fast rate because they know by 2026 they would have done nothing, absolute nothing. So what they want to use is to get as much power whereby they could just dictate so that they can come and rule for the next 5 years. Truth be told, even the support from Wapula my elections, and I'm telling you this. Kuisten copper belts because this is the Zambia that you've made us. So, not mule na abantu chanchani chinchin. Oh, no. That's the truth. Because UPND, when they came into government, they had goodwill. They were supposed to prove to Zambians to say, Mwamonaka, ifo tu alipusanako. Ifo bare tu bepe shafi. Na fine fo bare nande fia tribalism, fia di fia bufi. But they're here. 1 year, 8 months. Have they proved themselves? No. It has even become worse. I have reached up to here with tolerance of the praise singers. I used to tolerate everybody, but kwa di baba abantu akwati fishumbu musholo rwa. Badingile mishurushadingila. Whatever you say for them, as long as it doesn't, that person that they think is a god, nish tapali, they cannot enter. That thing that you say cannot enter. As long as bena udomunto bale pepa udia eudi tadiko bala ingira muchirindi. So why waste time on Bashumbu Munshoro? Why? This is what I'm saying. Don't even come on this page. Go to your respective page. I don't care. I'm not here for likes. I'm not here for sympathy. I'm not looking for your approval. I'm not. Kabiye inuko kuinoko mule ikisa preso ko notuma CDF notuma free education, because as for now we all know, as long as Balungu na ba HH can never be friends, there is nothing that is going to unite Zambia. Woof. As long as the vice president keeps on posting that nonsense that she posted on Facebook and later deleted, there is no unity in Zambia. We are here to unite. You've come here to even divide. Zambia is more divided than in PF. Zambia is more divided. So oh, we are here. We shall tapadi. One person says, oh, mle votero wenu. Irate tribalism. Takuri no kumuikata. Umwarande kubati inaba okubaba intelligent abata atini tribalism. You even have Winter Kabimba parading himself. This is what I'm saying to the young people. These big people, these politicians, they know they don't have the hope of even becoming president. So what do? They will have to eat as much as they can. So they lick. What Winter Kabimba said was very disappointing coming from him. You understand? It was very disappointing. And this is why because these people, what they will do is they will leak so that they continue eating. Their objectivity is because they want money. They want to eat. How can somebody come out to say something about that on tribalism when everything that has been happening it's been quiet? How do you even explain that? Listen, the truth of the matter is this. By UPND, the only thing that they needed or they wanted is to be in power. To be in power, not because they cared, not because whatever they said to you, the Zambian people, mattered. Not because they believed in the words that they tell you. Not because they are so principled that they can stay true to their words, true to their promises. That now does not matter because the main objective that they wanted was to be in power, and they achieved that, and now they're in power. So the second objective that they will have is to maintain that power and continue being in power. Not because you are chanda taulide. Not because you were mutinta taulide. That is beyond their comprehension. They don't care. They don't care. This is why I was telling you that in Salanga yakunyokora taisala mutundu. They have nothing, no solution, absolute nothing. The only people that will be eating, whatever close kudia, whatever rich, is for the rich. And if you are Bemba, you are rich, maybe. Chuabako Yusuf idiot firafin. If you are Shani firafine, wabako ka Yusuf idiot firafin. Wambo kula ikuta. But when it comes to Ababusu, it doesn't matter whether you're Tonga, it doesn't matter whether you're Lozi, it doesn't matter where Eastern, as long as you are poor. This government is a capitalist government, it does not care. Because if this government cared about you, the Zambian people, if this government had any sort of decency in the manner in which they conduct themselves, or any sort of principles so that they can stick true to their words. For example, flying when the economy is in distress. Washabantu bare tantama ubunga. You go and parade yourself in another country for what? For what? Mle not my pictures. Quite fair man. People are queuing up for Milime in your own country. Nelson Takuri. It just shows that they don't have that decency. They don't. They don't have the decency. Their words were just mere words that they never even believed themselves. They told you what you wanted to hear. Because us, as Zambians, tuaitemo mulomo. So that we know mulomo, or tuatemo, they knew to say to the mulomo. Tuafo kutika, we want to hear the horrible things and not the right things. We want to hear the wrong things and not the right things. So they jumped on that in 2021. They paraded PF as this west of west by using a notuma civil rights activists. Which today they are not doing. But in Shubunga Tamquet. Toena today, Jakai Naba to because useful idiots. My monaka. Then now things are fine. The same people that used to speak the loudest, they are quiet today. Baled, yeah. Uwunga ule shota. If this happened in PF, Ganatumana riot everywhere. But for them, it's fine today because they're eating. They're the one in power, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My mother. So, Imamwema Zambians, what you need to do is open your eyes. This is what you need to do. Open your eyes and start saying no to these things. Because once this fire, all it needs is kula sonkeresha konkuni oro ide kula. You have to quench this fire and you have to start standing up and saying enough is enough. Because once you pave way for these dictatorial tendencies, now this time around, honestly, I'm scared because I can't go to the Zambian courts and hopefully get a free judgment or a good judgment, which is not tempered with. I can't. I have no confidence in our judicial system as things stand. You understand? So, iwe, palobe. They don't ure supporta watu. Ukachitaka mlandu, orota wakachitaka mlandu, wakakufienga. You go somewhere. But because somebody is reported you for hate speech, you go in for that hate speech, which you didn't even say. Life to living. The law that we have is protecting a certain group of individuals. And those group of individuals, those that look that they are supporting the ruling government, regardless of the wrongs that the ruling government is doing. You understand? That's what the law is not protecting every citizen of Zambia as the constitution provides. It's not doing that. Appointing praising appointment in the first vampire. See? We know of so. But where is our human conscience? Should we all become praise singers? What will our children have? So stand up. This what you've seen is not justice. This that we've seen today is dictatorship taking its toll. By 2026, and let me tell you what UPND is doing. UPND ile miesha. First bambiro kumyesha pali kuacha Kabushi constituency. You remained quiet. Mwaikarazi. Bamunat, oh, we can get away with this. Now bamyesha pali judgment. Naponga ni judgment nole. Bamyesha. They know, they've seen, oh, we can get away with it. The ngaba judge kuba sonko mona mofie kuba chitafiefi, then we'll get our judgment. And that's what I mean to say bale tanda imishirushire mera, because bale myesha mule tamba and you're still quiet. Others are clapping without question to say, how come? You know? Why? If these shortages of mealie meal happened under Lungu, under Edgar Lungu, if these shortages of mealie meal happened under President Lungu, what do you think would be happening right now in Zambia? What do you think, as we speak, would be happening right now in Zambia? And the opposition leader just being by Facebook, posting, you're not bloggers, for crying out loud. You opposition leaders, politicians, you ought to know your place. You are not Facebook bloggers. Stop seeking for likes and approval on social media. Start doing things as politicians. Give direction, especially by PF. You've seen how people are asking for you to give them a direction. Give people a way out. Clearly, by UPND, have got no way out, and their way is to arrest as many people, as many voices as they can. But before that, what they started was to give positions to those people that used to speak against PF so that they can't speak against UPND. And now what they've realized, there are more voices coming up. They will start arresting those voices now. Because this is where Zambia is. You don't need any sort of katuishi exhibit mulefwaya. Ya kumonati charona chirubana. I don't know what you are seeking for. But you have ears, you have eyes, but you don't want to see, you don't want to hear. Use this. There's a reason why God gave you your eyes and your ears. And it only takes you and me to stand up and say, Icona man. Talking of changing lives, President Hakainde Hichilema promised to change the lives of the Zambian people. He himself says, if a government fails to change the lives of the Zambian of the people should change government. I ask you, since UPND took over government, what has changed in your life? Has your life improved, except for the press singers and those that have been appointed? Yes. But you, as an average Zambian, you, as a general public, what has happened to your life? How well has it changed? Your life has gone from bad to worse. If it was good, it's gone from good to bad. You understand? If it was excellent, it's gone from excellent to very good, from very good to good, from good to bad, from bad to worse. And these are the people that abakulu like Bamlenga, Bamsonda, I mean, used to say, even on our radio, but we didn't hear forever Nakukula. As youth, we didn't hear. Mr. Msonda said, you will be worse. And this is what is happening today. This is what is happening. UPND is going to be the worst government that Zambia has ever had. Worse. And the bad part is they don't even accept their wrongs. Their tribalism is not tribal. Unless a Bemba like me comes and speaks about it, then I am tribal. If a Tonga or maybe a Lozi speaks tribal against Bembas, that's not tribal. That is swept under the rug. But if a Bemba points out to say, this is wrong, this is that, then you're tribal, and that's hate speech. Selective application of the law. And don't think people are not seeing. People are seeing. People are seeing now. And because I've spoken this, somebody will say, hey, she's a tribalist. Hey, she's a what. No, I'm pointing out the wrongs that are happening, the selective justice that you are employing in the country. You understand? That's what I'm talking about. The issue of race was only dealt with when people spoke about it, when people stood up. How are we going to deal with tribalism if we don't talk about, because we are going to tell us, oh, I'm tribal, oh, she's a tribalist. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you call me a tribalist. I know I'm not. So I don't care. However, I care about the direction in which this country is headed. Because at this point, moving forward, what will start happening is that people will just be jailing, being jailed, without actually getting the justice that they deserve. Because we can see that people are interfering with the law, with the justice system. And where do we go as a people? Because the courts are the last resort. If I am accused of something, I need to be taken to the court. And I have to have confidence to say, right, I've been accused of something. So I have to go to the courts of law to prove my innocence. Okay? Without anybody having to interfere with the court processes. You understand? I have to have, as a citizen of a given country, regardless of the crime that I've committed, I have a right to free and fair trial. You understand? It's not a privilege. It is what your constitution provides. It is your right. Regardless of a crime that you've committed, it is there. You've got a right to a free and fair trial. But if I don't have confidence to say, right, I've committed or I've not committed a crime. I've been accused of a crime. All right? And I don't have confidence. And I'm already sentenced in the courts of the public opinion. And that sentence in the courts of the public opinion is the same sentence that I get when I go to court. Then that's not a free and fair trial. That trial has been tampered with. This is why when you go in courts like these developed countries, you hear the judge say, don't discuss the case with anybody. Don't go researching other than what is provided within this court. Don't go out researching. Don't look on the internet. Don't look on Facebook. Don't look on anything. This is what most courts that are free and fair would say to the jury or to the judge himself, whoever is presiding on that case. But today, the irony is we have a situation where the verdict is heard on social media before the courts of law pronounces that verdict. We have that situation now. A verdict was told before a verdict was read in the courts of law. How? Where is the free and fair trial? How? In what sense? People were speaking about the verdict before the judge could before even the NOLA was entered. People are already saying this is what's going to happen. And to our surprise, the exact thing that was said is the exact thing that happened in the courts of law. How? How possible? How? Because we have people that are interfering with this judgment. We have people that, these courts are now compromised. This is where we are in Zambia. And if we let this take its toll, this is what every person who's probably accused of something and is seen in the light to not be in good terms with the current government or the ruling government, this is the kind of verdicts that you'll be getting. First, you have to suffer before even the verdict comes. Then after that suffering, maybe your lawyer, get a good lawyer like Makebi Zuru if you've got money. He proves beyond reasonable doubts that you are innocent. Then somebody comes, after your suffering, then somebody comes and says, we're entering an order. It's a very sad day for Zambia. I never thought that we would be here today. I actually thought maybe, just maybe, we voted for change. A change that's going to be, a beginning of a new Zambia. We thought of that. I thought of that personally. I believe most of you thought of that. But no. No. We actually groomed the monster and voted in that monster. And that monster is going to start eating us one by one, one by one, one by one. Not until we unite, we stand with a united voice and said, you know what, monster? Enough. Stop it. That's the only way you can stop such kind of a monster. Dictatorship is a monster, a horrible monster that has seen most countries fall apart. Most countries are falling apart because of dictatorial tendencies. And if we keep on feeding this dictatorship and feeding its ego, praising it, it's growing. It's getting fat. It's getting fat and it's getting comfortable. It knows it can get away with everything. So it will do whatever it can to ensure that it gets its way. And as long as we continue as opposition leaders to speak with a voice that is not united, a voice whereby this an opposition leader speaks this today to get likes, this another one speaks this today to get... No. It's not going to work. And I kid you not, 2026, if at all God is merciful enough to allow this UPND government to reach that, I'm praying to God that it doesn't reach that. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I pray to God every day. I'm not joking. I pray to God. Even now when I finish talking, I'll go and kneel and pray for Zambia. And I pray for God's intervention. And I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't ask him to do what he's going to do, but I just pray for his intervention to save his own people. And that's what I pray. But even when we are asking for God's help, we also have to do our part. As we pray and say, God help us, God protect us, God be with us. May your wrath descend upon this country. May you protect us. May you see us through. We also have to play a role where we speak as a united voice and say, you know what, enough. We're not going to continue with this. But we have the worst part is, and I know this, and I'm not gonna lie to you, we have leaders that are aspiring to even be president that are cowards, two, they're self-centered, egocentric individuals that just they're not looking at the overall outlook of the country, but they're looking at their own selfish interests with their immediate families. That's where we are as a country. And I'm not mentioning to any opposition, whatever. I'm just saying there are leaders that are aspiring to lead this country that are cowards. Some of them are just so self-centered, so selfish, that all they are doing is looking at they themselves, what they can achieve, what they can get out of, and their immediate families. The rest, you can, excuse my French, go fuck yourself. That's my French, by the way. You know what I mean? So you have such leaders. Even when they know to say they've got nothing to offer, they've got no solution for Zambia as it stands, but they want to just be called president. so that now bakale fuara masuti ukulanda pama red carpet and ukulashta fly anyhow. And that's where you need to now open your eyes. Open your eyes and say, listen, look at all the leaders that you have that are wanting to be president of the Republic of Zambia. And say, with the way UPND have run this country, with the way they are running things, and with the way they've messed up things. By the way, UPND have messed up things. Look at the leaders that you have and say, who's going to sort out this problem that UPND, if we ever voted for a new president? Right now, you should be thinking about a leader that has got connections, by the way. A leader that, if he spoke today, they will listen. They will forgive your debts. Not if. Yes, I've said it. I've said it. Never vote against Barungu. Chama fe babwe. Chama fe babwe. Kaidi bara beta we. Chama fe babwe. Tuipuisha game. Chap. Chamuntu ne chwa chakwe kai. Bali landa kai. Abaso ya Africa game. Chama fe Barungu babwela twadisho I study tie and what not. Chama fe babwela. Ero mulatina na lungu na fe badumba stop kutumba. Chama fe babwela. Because as long as the nonsense that's happening, where I'll take PF this, I'll take what. Chama fe babwela. Chama fe babwela, I've said it. Sheptana Mumbari. I've said it. Gorefo fimbo peke chama fe balungu babwela. Perhaps he comes and sort things out. Ewe. Better fe. Better kaina tumona shoulder to shoulder. Apani shoulder to shoulder na tumona. Parata tuare fimona parata tuare fimona. Tatuare fimona pana fimona na menso yes not fimona chama fe babwe. I'm a youth that spoke for by church. I'm one of the youth that campaigned for you, and I'm saying, "Chama fe balungu bawele." Chap. What? Mwananchikata? Because nananda tu balungu bawele. Ngole for uwe ina fimbia poke. Chama. Ndemieba at this rate. Ndemia fe chini chate mwadere samkesa mputura. At this rate, mwe na mwe retadi kapa. Mukaya mkube miaba lungu kula kuine baikara kwa ibex. Wait. Dolere nifike ko pa August. Dolere nifike pa August. Mukaya mkube miaba kula kuine baikara. Twadisho balikana. But palo wandi fyo po life ya Africa fyo Zambia pa. Looking at all the opposition that we have at the moment. Chama fe balungu babwera. Ero ino opinion yands. Democracy provides for it. Kuchinja. Mwana fo babiri manaranja pari balungu babiri mat go to sleep. Areta mbapa. Jordan chama fe balungu babwera Jordan. Balungu chama fe babwere. Tupuishe game. Tuipuishe kai shoda tu shoda na tumona. Na tuimona shoda tu shoda na hypocrisy na tuimona. So apart kara choosing a fie. Kuya fi vota 2026. Apata kuri vota no rusa tiyo nde unfo rusi fidaba mchitire apana atkwatana ba mumbipiri 300 and chakuti 400 actually. Chama fe balungu bagwere shoda to shoda, we've seen it. Era mulalwara na mumala, I want you to go to bed today to dream of Edgar Lungu coming back as president. Bapressing. Yes. And we will vote. We will vote. I'm telling you, we will vote. Tukavota iraine ya kudundu mwezi. Tukavota iraine ya kudundu mwezi daba vota kudundu mwezi. Na ifo tukavota. Kaira from lefwa. We've been tolerating you. The insults and whatnot. We've been so civil. So, na rumbura feba rumba chama feba wera. Ya kakana no kakana. Na imurumbure nati. HH paka 2090 or 2050 lumbure ni fana tukaripanga mwalandefyo na hivyo turera ndati chama fe barungu bastenshi bangwe imo mule salanga nga bakapanga nga napunda fefyo mbato ifo tukavote ya kudundu mwezi chap tumwana kairoko ture This is the Zambia, and I'm giving you this because this is the Zambia that you are planting. PF is not the one planting this. Whenever the move take like 15 to say we never saw any wrong that the UPND were doing, because at that point PF had the instrument of power. So whatever horrible things that were happening, it fell on them. The honors was on them. So today we have UPND who's in power now. So whatever, everything bad that is happening, the honors is on UPND. That's why I'm good. I don't shukura my video to Arif Tambakali. PF have paid for those videos that you shukura all the time when we speak about UPND's governance. PF have paid for that. Now, upon shoulder to shoulder, we are comparing and contrasting. Shoulder to takudat. Oh, abatawa deka potential. Abatres ta compare Walungu na HH. Lungu's governance and President Hakainde Hichilema's governance. That's what we are comparing here. Happening from very small opposition leaders are, but because where Zambia is now, and I know I speak for most of the Zambians where I say Zambians are not ready to vote in another trial and error, because this is what they did in 2021. And we have no time, because right now Zambia has been dragged back 10 years backwards. In just 1 year, 8 months, Zambia has been dragged 10 years backwards. And looking at how things are at the moment, I don't think Zambians are ready to vote in another try and error person in terms of governing this country. So, Mamona, hey, I'm not saying you don't love HH. But I'm talking in terms of leadership. That's why I talk about him. If I don't like somebody, I wouldn't even waste time to talk about that person. But also, we shouldn't forget that HH is a leader, a Republican president. So whatever he does, we have to talk about it. Same as ECL. Competition, we have leadership crisis. That's for the fact. And you can see that we have leadership crisis because they're even failing to unite. They are seeing things that are happening, horrible things that are happening, but if you unite. So chama ferungo we mufimbe mupoke mulepuke chama feru, and this person that's speaking actually supported UPND. Ngamrefa mtadike, I don't care, ngamrefa shan. But tonight, as you sleep, start dreaming of Lungu coming back. Mlefutka. Ero mala ifotuka vote. Fafine not if you go to blindfolded abantu ba vote in 2021. Apana tu imwena with our own korokoro eyes we can see. Bantu muzambe mfwa mure pita mumbali fintu fide tika murefwa mure pita mumbali. Mure tine chin. So in a parwandish, as things stand, as long as I don't see any prominent opposition that can lead this country in a much right direction, beta feba lungu babwedi, beta feba adibuela, beta fetwa adivota. Mwaimara? Beta feba adibuela, beta ero at this rate, if Balungu came back na Mumbipiri as vice president, Shapon is game me up. Josephine Mumbipiri as vice president, nisha game me up. Chapwa ba wana ino fo ba sokoroka ba pressing oku fo ba lungu ba Mumbipiri as vice president na ba lungu ba wera ni chap ora mbatuka yem kuvota chamuntu kuvota ngore votera kutanta mino bunga ngore votera yarama bags wale senda kwa 66 ya fertilizer chap apa kuvota pa ngore fo votera meda padi meda wa ya vota iwole konka japona meda ngore fo votera padi 6 bags of fertilizer wa ya votera padi 6 bags of fertilizer ngore fo votera pa bunga wa kutanta mina uwa 300 na 500 kwacha kudokusorwezi mwa ya vota na imo 500 kwacha kusorwezi na ifu pale fo bunga pa 120 kwacha na 150 kwacha twa ya vota padi 150 kwacha chap. Na game na chap fair ni fair. Mama fair ni fair. Chap. Not today, hey, he will never come back. Not today, be papa Facebook, pa mwambo kusaranga wani baka panga wani baka soku wendo. Na rumra fati beta ferungu abwera, mwambo kwa ruka wani baka soku wendo. Tien, tute fair game. Frefine to atere 2021, na 2026, turete rungu apa. Na mfama pene fya turete ferungu apa pene tumulete fya rungu wera. Number to vote based on the governance of each one of themselves. God for us all. Mwae monaka? Tien to vote renga ni pari beda. To vote renga pari 6 bags. Chap. Because you cannot tell me to say fuel. To vote renga pari fuel. Let's vote on fuel today. Let's vote. Not mne tinya wantu chinchinya. Let's also vote for fuel. Ngani exchange rate te kwa kuranda no kurandoko. Kama lack of leadership, lack of leadership, kuisa exchange rate lero idishan. Mwa mwana exchange rate ili pesa. So, if you're from the judicial system, justice, electoral commission of Zambia, te kwa kuranda no kuranda. Even though to toa mwana po warungu bachita. Kuile kurani kanyoko. Kuile electoral commission of Zambia. Justice system. Dollar. Fionse mfumarera na fionse so nomba tufibwete ifire tikapa. Na balungu tubabikapa. Mwasalanga na wanu wakapanga okumva fya Edgar Lungu. Tene nkamuleta abantu bakayamwimya kuna kuino community house bakayarara pa community house. Epo bakayarara. But Dina's things stand as we speak at the moment. I would rather know Edgar Lungu, unless some of the opposition leaders they start doing what is right. Right now, Tayali is more like alone. Is more like alone. Is the ones doing the most things. Is the most person that's doing the most things. Ama opposition leader tukwetera kwa bati ku post about sentences pa social media. Ngabawa soko mona wafe babeka tamofe nishba fomono kana kufomonoka. And you want to be president. Oh. Experimentation ya leadership wa pama Zambians da tabarefwano kufwa. Na badi experiment na UPND and look where it has landed them. So it's better vya kapiri kawere turabeko puisha na game. Chap. Ule fwa chimukaripi. Chipeta vya kapiri kawere. But we know a lack of leadership. We know a lack of leadership. We know trefwaya. At least lack of leadership. Ampera na maya poti. Mle tanta lidapo bakamara arisa. Baisa mtanta rapari airport. Uwa lack of leadership. Imo. Mwena ngana wantu kuwongo. Urawine Edgar Lungu. Urawine mwapata. Urawine uchi. Na mumbipiri uwine mwachite inkasadete. Yo kabara vice president. Chap. Na game whip. Chap on a game whip. Mwaimana. Not mule angara abantu kuongo abantu tabaredia abantu waleshitana nkani you're just busy globetrotting the same thing that you condemned. Tefo twala ikara mcharo ifi. Edgar Lungu abwele. So if you are listening, if you are watching me, I don't know if you ever watch me or even know this crazy girl as they call me. Come back, we will vote. Every time voted out, we will vote you in. We will vote. We will give you the kind of votes. Yes, we will vote. We will vote. We will vote. Dundumwezi star. Chap. Yes, akapiri. Yes, that's why I call him kapiri, right? Chap. I'm just like mulefwa turepita mumbere chan. Kapiri. Oh. So good night, Naya. Why? Kapiri piri.